Hi guys. So today I am going to talk about my behaviorist, which is Susan M. Schneider. And this is a picture of her right here. So what she currently does, she is a visiting scholar at the University of the Pacific, and she is also a senior scientist and sustainability consultant for Root Solutions, which is a nonprofit organization. She also still does environmental studies, by the way. So just a summary of her research. She really focused on nature and nurture relationships. And she also studied learning through reinforcement. So, you can't really see over here on the side, but, I have positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. So, she did some research on that. And also she did a lot of generalization studies. So, most of her studies were using animals. I think just about all of them were using animals, actually. So she used rats, pigeons, and quail neonates. Yep. Just got a little rat right there. And also generalization studies with positive and negative reinforcement and matching law. And she also has over 30 research publications. I actually found her Vita, and it has like all her publications on it. And it was actually very interesting to look at. So next, book and articles. So she only had one book, and this is The Science of Consequences, which she published in 2012. So her book actually took her 10 years to make. And it was her first book, and she talked about how behavior is shaped by, consequences in our environment and basically, what we do. Another, an article that she did was describing the history of behaviorism with, using explanations from Watson and Skinner and looking at their definitions and basically how they have evolved over time. Also, she was looking at generalization in the quails and the wasp nest. She did the behavior setting theory. She applied that to animals in that situation, and she did concurrent sequences and also free operant and positive reinforcement research as well. So some interview questions that I would ask her. How did you become interested in your studies, and what intrigued you the most while researching? Also, I would ask, how did people initially respond to your research? Were they open to it? Did they shut you out? Did they not like it? I just would want her to explain, how the process went, and, basically, was it like a positive process, or it was, more negative where, it took some time for people to warm up to her studies. I would also ask her, what is her greatest achievement concerning her studies? What does she think is the biggest thing she has done, or, her biggest contribution to the field of behavior analysis in general? I would like to ask her that, and I would like to see, her thoughts on that. So another one is a little in detail, but not really. So I would say, you stated that your book took 10 years to write. So I do want to know, what was her biggest challenge or challenges while she was writing the book? And also, how did she get through it? Because 10 years is a long time. And I know, making books in general is a long process. So I really just want to know, what held her back and what kind of situations she encountered that really impacted, the length of the book. The last question I would ask her is, what are your hopes for the future of science or behavior analysis? And, if she would do any other research, maybe she'll include that in that question. Not really sure, but I would want to know, what are her hopes, and, if there's any more that we can do to help out in the field, basically. So her importance to behavior analysis. So Schneider is very much known for her focus on operant learning, or, also known as learning through consequences. So, every behavior has a consequence, and, that shapes our behaviors. Our consequences shapes our behavior. I'm sorry. And she talks about this a lot in her book. And, her book has a variety of applications. So, work, home, such as parenting, education, things like that. And she even mentions politics in her book as well. So she's also important for her research on the history of behavior analysis. So for things like her work of Skinner and Watson's article, when she was talking about the history of behaviorism, that played a role in, her contributions as well. And another thing that she is importing for is for her generalization studies and of choice as well. So she applied the matching law to animals, and I'm pretty sure she was one of the first people to do that. Yep. So with her, it was a little hard to find her, honestly, because there's more than one Susan M. Schneider. So I thought it was funny. But, it took a while, but I did get it. So she's actually very interesting, and, reading about her was very informative, and I actually really did learn a lot while writing this paper. So this is just a works cited page for the publications that I listed. So if you guys wanted to go check them out, it's right here. And these are just the ones I mentioned. She has plenty of more, and you can just look up her name, and I'm pretty sure you can find some. So I hope you guys enjoyed this brief overview of Susan Schneider, and enjoy.